this on the offline. So basically, we don't have to download it from LinkedIn if I want to post it out
Okay.
later as well. So just recording it for that case.
All right. Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I think we are going in 20 seconds. So,
Okay.
right. Okay, I've hit down the live button now. All right, we are live. Hey, hi Garima. Thanks for taking the
Hi,
time out
Ketu.
today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having Plantables at your live.
Live
We're
button.
happy to be here and looking forward to the session.
Yeah, awesome. We are glad to have you. I think this is a long-standing discussion that we wanted to do with someone like you, because festivals and pollution come a bit hand in hand in India, and I think we all are trying our bit to see how things goes and how we can make it better. So, to everyone who doesn't know Garima, Garima is a co-founder of Plantables, and Plantables is on a mission to accelerate the shift towards sustainable consumer choices. And I think that is the first trend that I remember because they believe in that the sustainability can be, more design oriented, stylish, appealing without sacrificing the quality and building it truly sustainable product. I think currently they are using eco-friendly materials. Plantables are creating products that are not sustainable, but also very beautifully designed as well, making it easy for the customers to choose responsibly. So yeah, glad to have you, Garima. So as to like we start off for the day, there has been a lot of chaos when it comes to um, you know, festivals that's come along with in India. I think now is the time we'll start off with Ganesh Chaturthi, and it will be celebrated, a lot of festivals in the next 3 months. And along with that, I think Indians has a great uh, festivities, but when it comes to festival, there are also a side opinion that says festivals comes with waste in India. So we wanted to like walk with you to understand what's the current scenario as of now, like, you know, how are we celebrating our current festivals?
Um, so the current overall scenario, not just with regards to festivals, but the overall consumer sentiment across the board is there's a lot of waste that we're generating and adding to our landfills that is impacting our soil, our water, our air. There's a lot of waste that is being generated towards landfills. And when it comes to festivals and celebrations, that kind of it just becomes multifold because of the amount of consumption that is there, the gifting that is there. But specifically with regards to Indian festivals, where we have traditions of doing immersions in water bodies of idols and statues, and where that particular step comes in, and the recent, the trend of using statues which are made using non-sustainable, materials like plaster of Paris or plastic decorations and things like that, that have started adding a lot to the already burdened water bodies and already burdened landfills that we have on our planet. And so those celebrations they signify joy and culture and happiness. The after effects of once the celebration is then once the festival is over is not always a very pretty picture. Idols and pop statues disintegrating in various states of not being able to get decomposed properly, strewn across our water bodies and oceans. It just makes one sad to look at the after effects of an otherwise very positive, very joyful celebration. So that is something that we as individuals, as consumers, as people generally, we need. I think it's a call of the hour. It's a very drastic emergency situation that we need to, focus on and make the switch and make choices which are good for the planet while being true to our culture and our celebrations and our beliefs.
That
That is
that's
something that we
absolutely
feel.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I was reading a fact. In fact, like there was this municipal corporation in Chennai which uh, put out the data that during the festivities, like the city generates more than 10% extra wastage during that month, you know. But when we say India, like this is not the first time that we are celebrating our festivals, or it's not a decade long. It's perhaps a centuries long tradition that's been going out in India. So why then we are seeing such a current and rapid rise in the pollution? I mean, it was done centuries ago. There was no waste then why today?
These trends have unfortunately shifted to more easily accessible, off the shelf items and statues, which are generally not very sustainable. When we used to celebrate, when our forefathers or grandparents, that particular generation used to celebrate, the festivals were generally a lot more immersive experience without focusing on, generating, without creating the kind of uh, plastic waste that is getting added recently. So that is a major factor here. And again, as we grow in terms of population, in terms of people celebrating, in terms of more and more participation, and the easily accessible off-the-shelf items that are generally purchased during these celebrations, that is definitely adding more and more pressure to our environment in terms of celebrations, in terms of festivals. If we take a step back and go uh, to the heart of the essence of the celebration, which is coming together, celebrating, uh, rejoicing in the culture and the religion that is associated with these festivals, there is a lot of depth and a lot of goodness that is associated with these celebrations. And we just all is just select make choices which are planet positive, and just be conscious of the way we are shopping or discarding the post festival uh, items that are being done. So yeah, that is definitely that has definitely impacted the pivot and the increase in waste generation during festivals across
Yeah,
the
I
country.
mean, and you spoke, rightly about having an immersive experience around the festival. The way I think probably our elders or the previous generation were celebrating was making Ganesha at home by clay, probably the clay that they could found in your backyard or nearly accessible. And
Right.
they, yeah,
Yes, so that is something that we've been working on, and we've had so this year Plantables has had the honor and the opportunity to be a part of various celebrations as far as Ganesh, be a part of people's celebrations as far as Ganesh Chaturthi is concerned. And there are so we're making and working with materials which are eco-friendly. So this is a Ganesha, which is made using this is made using clay and materials which are eco-friendly. And there are no toxic elements or toxic POPs that are used in this. And we're adding seeds to the statue itself. So these are plantable clay Ganeshas, which folks can do the Visarjan of at home. And they can easily decompose within an hour or two in a bucket of water at home, and they will not add to landfills, and they will dissolve very quickly without impacting the water bodies around us. And post celebrations, folks can just gently plant the seeds that are there as a part of the Ganesha at home and grow a marigold plant out of the Visarjan that they're doing. So this is something that we've been working with this year, and we've been fortunate to have a great response to the plantable Ganesha offerings that we've put out in terms of the design, in terms of the aesthetics. And there is a very obvious need and demand and acceptance to pivot to materials which can be easily, become one with the earth instead of persisting in our water bodies for days at an end without being able to disintegrate, which often happens with POP. Uh, Unfortunately, POP statues, plaster of Paris statues, are not able to dissolve in the water bodies when we do the Visarjan, and they clunk up and uh, just persist in the oceans and the tanks and the rivers wherever uh, they are sent out. So instead of that, if we use a material which is, like which or this is unbaked mud. So if we use something like this, which can be easily dissolved instead of using plaster of Paris, this is a very obvious and a very um, planet positive pivot that a lot of customers, a lot of people across the country have been quite open to, and are making the switch for their celebrations.
Yeah, that's absolutely, I mean, right on the spot. I have heard about that, Maharashtra is where um this festival is being like celebrated more popularly, than any part of India. And there is this village called Pen, quite literally between Mumbai and Pune. And they are the basic hub for Ganesha idol making for the entire region as well as for the some parts of India. So it is said that they make like almost 40 to 60% of total Ganesha idols that being consumed during these festivals, as to speak. Their artisans are widely known. And the thing with that is quite drastic. Like, I mean, they started out with the festival started out in 1890s, where it was seen as a movement to unite India against the Britishers. But at that point, the Ganesh idols were completely made out of clay, and it was done by the community as well as these were made in house. The people were used to make it by themselves, their hands. It was an immersive experience. But lately, what has happened is, there is fast processes coming in. People wanted too huge of a size of Ganeshas in total. That's where all the materials like POP and even sometimes, the cement that we use for our households are also being used to build out these idols. And in fact, when these idols as a tradition are like immersed in the water, since these are too huge, you can't do it in your society. You have to go out to the nearby river bodies and immerse it there. Now, from a tradition perspective, I'm in the favor that we should continue doing that, you know, but with a twist that the ideal should be in the coherence with the biodiversity, like with the water. They should be able to uh, you know, mile down easily, gel well with the river bodies, and not being stuck around. I I know my first experience of cleaning. Um, it was in 2017, and that was the first time I saw the adverse effects of Ganesha immersing. So a friend of mine, spoke to us said that, we want to clean up the riverbed. And we said, what can be in a riverbed? Most of them you'll pick up plastic or some garbage, maybe some lunchbox that's been thrown away. But to surprising, we noticed that the most of the waste that we were picking was actually the festivities waste, the chunris, even the whole Ganesha, which is made out of cement, were also not dissolved in the water. So that was not a, good sight to look at it. And probably, I think this generation thing, like if the elders are like able to make that shift, then I think the younger ones and probably the generation after us would also be making sustainability as a choice, by default. So, what's your
Yes.
take on that?
Yes. So this is something that uh, was this is something that we came across while going through the process of making and selling Ganesh idols this year. Uh, a lot of people were making these purchases for their kids. A lot of these orders were you know So we were just going through the orders that we were getting, and a lot of these were being sent out by parents to kids in their hostels as with messages of encouragement, and asking them, telling them to connect with Bappa, connect with Ganpati. So Ganesh Chaturthi is it's a beautiful festival where communities come together to celebrate this beautiful the beautiful deity that Ganesh ji is. There's a lot of attachment, and there's a lot of love that people feel with Bappa, with the sentiment of Ganesh ji, and that is like, it is so endearing, and it has been there for generations throughout our culture. It is now it is all the more important to to imbibe that culture and that feeling in the new generations, in the kids who are essentially the decision makers of the future. Kids these days are the adults of the future, and it is very important to make them connect with and make them a part of the culture and the entire cultural fabric that India is, the beautiful cultural fabric that India is. But while we're doing that in terms of festivities, in terms of celebrations, it is also our moral responsibility to ensure that while they're celebrating it, they should take care of, they also need to make choices which are good for the environment, good for the planet, not just for anybody else, but for their own selves. If they're making choices for festivals and for celebrations which are planet positive, using something which easily disintegrates as opposed to a material or a product which persists in their landfills and waters for generations to come, it would be easier for the kids and the youngsters going forward in building a planet which is easier for them to live in. Because this was a quote by President Obama. We are the first generation to realize the effects of climate change, and probably the last ones to be able to do something about it.
Yeah.
So that is very critical at this moment. And every choice we make, be it for festival celebrations, be it for personal consumptions, be it for purchasing, or every single choice that we make has an impact on the planet. We have to, and it's not just us making those choices. We have to make sure that the generations coming, down the road are also aware of their responsibility towards the planet while being connected to their roots and to their culture. So when kids in societies, kids across channels are being introduced to, so this is our bestseller. He's like a superhero right now. So we call him Atharva. He's like the cutest 4-inch Ganeshi. And when people, and the response that we've had towards him in terms of, just connection and affection that people have shown towards him, and kids getting connected to him, a lot of people ordering this particular statue for the kids in the society, and involving them in the process of celebrating Bappa, and then doing the Visarjan and planning all these elaborate planting parties for them. So there are communities who are like purchasing them, and they're planning how to do the Visarjan with the kids, and then they will be planning how to do the planting of the seeds with the kids, so that the kids are connected to the whole process. That is very critical and very it is very sweet, but it is also very important responsibility that our generation currently has towards the planet and the future generation. So that is something that so that was an experience that we've had this year, which was quite interesting. And also there are various DIYs also that people can do with regards to Ganesh Chaturthi. When you get a statue, get an idol at home and do the decorations, it if it also depends on the materials that you're using. You can always string together something, a DIY activity with paper flowers, or old fabrics and cotton sarees, and make garlands and decorations out of that, and use materials which can easily disintegrate or can possibly be used for years to come, instead of using off the shelf plastic decoration. So that is another pivot that folks can make while celebrating this beautiful festival to ensure that while we are being true to our roots and culture, we are also leaving a planet which is habitable for the future generations to come.
Yeah, I think you rightly spoke about the DIY things. I mean, festivals are for, people to come together, have an experience, like enjoy life probably. So there, if this generation makes it sustainable and kind of makes it sustainability looks cool, then the next generation would be able to pick it up. We don't have to be a generation that just passed along the tradition. I think this generation to should uh, make changes to uh, the traditions that we have been following according to the needs of an hour. The climate change is the need of an hour, and probably the best way to talk about is go back to the roots. That's how it was celebrated earlier. Why are we thinking we are changing few things? That's how it should be. I don't know, somewhere in between the years, we have lost that art of celebrating festivals sustainable. I mean, think about the ancient times when Diwali was also celebrated longly in India. Ganesh Chaturthi also, Navratri. There are a whole lot, but we have never talked about waste at that point of time. We have never heard about that. And probably if we look at it more closely, we understand that those were all celebrated more sustainable than how it is today. Diyas, Ganesh idols made out of clay, I think kite flying out of cloth materials and then reusing them to make sacks. So there are a lot of examples in the history as well, which kind of talks about this way of celebration. But uh, I wanted to ask you, like, I know Plantables has a portfolio of products, but when I see a celebration or a festivities, you are stepping up all these years. I have seen Rakhis with you. When the Ganesh Chaturthi come, you had eco-friendly Ganesh idol, which are beautiful, and I think uh, the philosophy that you guys believe in is truly reflected. Like design and style is first, and obviously sustainability as a core of everything, but you are making it look a lot more cooler, as to speak. But what's in next? I mean, what's coming up, Diwali, the next festival there?
So of course, we are working hard to make and bring out products which are you know just good looking, just adorable to look at. There's a focus on design and with sustainability at the heart of it all. So we did initially start off with seed paper, which was plantable paper with seeds embedded in it. That's how the name Plantables sort of came into being, because we started with our own wedding cards. But down the line, the idea and the philosophy behind Plantables has always been to make products which are easy to which are easy for folks to switch to. So sustainable products which are easy for folks to switch to. Why the focus on design is because we can keep talking about sustainability and we have to make the switch, but if the switch is not appealing enough, people might not make the switch. The idea is to accelerate the shift of global consumers towards more sustainable choices. Towards that end, whatever we have to do, whatever products we need to offer alternatives of, which traditionally would have been made out of an otherwise non-biodegradable, unsustainable material at the heart of it, which is already adding to our landfills and might not go away for uh, decades or hundreds of years to come. The idea is to offer products which can disintegrate and become one with the earth very quickly without impacting our already burdened planet. And while we are at it, they should also offer, a sense of joy, a sense of celebration, a sense of magic to the people who are using those products. So we are constantly innovating and creating uh, uh, items and products that can help people make those sustainable choices. And so that can be a conference tag, which has seeds in it, as opposed to, a plastic lanyard, which is generally used for conferences.
Yeah.
Again, a major source of waste for large events and gatherings. It can be rakhis, which can be planted again. Now we are also working on various products for the upcoming festivals. So we would be sharing them as and when they're ready. So definitely there's something that's coming up for Diwali as well. And yeah, so the idea is always to, just offer beautifully designed products that folks can use without being guilty of adding to the waste that is being generated as a consumer. So that is what we're working towards, and whatever it takes to, bring out products, bring out items, and customize things to help people make that switch. Um, we are here to work on that.
Yeah. And
And we've noticed the shift of just the year-on-year increase in interest in sustainable choices. So the Plantables has been in existence for over 5 years. We've been doing plantable Ganeshas. This is our second year, almost, third year approximately, but probably this is the second year of doing plantable Ganeshas. And the increase in interest of people in making this particular switch has been tremendous. So it's not like folks don't want to have alternatives. It's just that if, we just need to reach out to them and let them know that this is available, this is a switch that you can make, and they are more than willing to adapt, because everybody these days understands their responsibility towards the planet. We are all part of this. We are all part of this community, which is planet Earth, and everybody understands that. It's just that they need to have options to choose from. So that is what we're working towards.
yeah, I think that's the question that I was coming towards, that you have been putting out Ganesh idols since last year. So, and the response has been amazing. What's the like, common barrier that you see for the whole industry? I think there are a lot of people out there who are into sustainability and they want to make everything a lot more sustainable. But why is there a gap, and what is that gap for consumers?
The gap is, I think, just accessibility and awareness. Once people know, they are more than willing to, like I told you, make the switch. So just making these things more and more prominent, making it available for folks around. Also, you would notice that a lot of sustainable brands are essentially like a lot of these are small startups. They are individual brands running on their own steam, and they are trying to make a difference in the larger scale of things, or the larger consumer landscape that we are a part of. So accessibility and awareness definitely is something um, that would help more and more people make the switch and come on board towards more sustainable choices.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks for sharing that. Now I think we are coming to the end of our discussion today, and I have a couple of questions from the LinkedIn comments that we have here.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of is from Banan. He asked, like, I was searching for an eco-friendly Ganesha, and I think he landed on Plantables. You have nice idols, but I wanted to check if you have bigger size, because my people might want to have a bigger size. So
Yes, so that is again, that is a request that we've received quite a lot as more and more people become aware of this particular concept. We are working on that. Right now, given the logistics challenges and the shipping challenges, it's a little tricky to transport bigger statues, because these are, again, this is kachi mitti, or it is like unbaked clay. So they're delicate, because the idea is that they should dissolve very fast. So we don't add any extra chemical to make them very long lasting, because again that's not the idea behind it. So larger statues are something that we would definitely try and introduce next year. That's something that we've had a lot of requests for it. So yes, we'll definitely be working on that.
awesome, awesome. And I think there is one more question from Jasmine. Probably this one you answered already, but She asks, does Plantables offer any sustainable alternatives for Diwali celebrations? Uh, yeah,
That's in the pipeline, will be out soon. Do keep following us for more options.
yeah, absolutely. I'll post out the link to Plantable store in the comment, Jasmine. You might want to take a look at that for a festivities to
We do
festival.
have some options. Yeah, so some Diwali products are already there. So we are doing definitely. So there will be so there are bandhanwars and torans and of course Diwali greetings are there in various forms, and there are various other products that would be like soon.
Awesome. Yeah. I think coming years or festivals are going to a lot more sustainable, and probably the brand like yours will always be forefront of it, helping out consumers like me and many others to convert our wishful thinking into an action that is celebrating it more sustainable. So yeah, thank you so much, Garima, for walking us through and helping us understand the
Mhm.
scenario in broader aspect.
Mhm. Thank you for having us. It's at Plantables, we are just it's been grateful to have been to be a part of celebrations and to be a part of people's festivities and celebrations through the items that we're making, through the products that we're making, and we're just so grateful that people have trusted us with their Ganpatis and ordered from Plantables, and they are bringing Ganpati home this year, and we and our small team, we're based out of Agra. We are just so very grateful to be a part of so many across the country. And so thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Garima. I hope to speak with you soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.